Hi everyone! Today I finally get to tell you my story and how it came about that I'm sharing my passion for quality with you on this channel. My passion for quality was instilled in me by my parents because when I grew up in beautiful Vienna, Austria, my parents owned a very elegant shop in the very city center next to St. Stephen's Cathedral. And there they were selling really beautiful, luxurious stationery, fountain pens, gifts, leather accessories, anything you would need to decorate your office. Also very nice school bags, very traditional, very elegant. You know, it was one of those stores that doesn't exist anymore nowadays, with moldings on the ceilings and on the wall, with crystal chandeliers, with vitrines with curved glass and intarsia on them. So something that is nowadays very rare. And as a little girl, when on Saturdays or during my school holidays, as of the age of 12 years old, you know, I helped out in the shop as a salesperson. So I had to learn from my parents what all these goods were about, because back then, growing up in the 70s and 80s, the brands were not that important. They were not dominating. They were not giving us the orientation of what is presumably something good and luxurious. People still had a knowledge about the goods that they were buying, or if they didn't have it, they were expecting the salesperson in the shop to be able to explain it to them. So my parents taught me, especially being that young, and you know, sometimes having to ask for prices that for me as a 12-year-old were, you know, astronomical amounts. They were not that astronomical, but for a 12-year-old, believe me, they were. So they taught me to explain the goods very well and what they were made of, etc. And so this is something that I learned very, very early on. And it's kind of stuck to me, even though, you know, my parents sold the shop in 2001, and my sister and I, we had already started our own careers. You know, I had studied hotel and tourism management, and yeah, you know, at the beginning when you're that young, it's a bit difficult sometimes to work with your parents on a daily basis, but I never had excluded that I would maybe take over the shop. But unfortunately, my father didn't even ask me before selling the shop, and until today, it really hurts walking by the shop that nowadays is something completely different. It's a fashion store and doesn't look anything like it anymore. And so I went on working in a career, you know, covering quite some ground. That is what my title already reflects. And this is also why in my YouTube channel here I can cover quite a vast variety of products. So I started out in hotel and tourism, but then very early on I came back to Vienna and I worked in the marketing department for McDonald's. Later I worked in skincare and feminine hygiene for Johnson & Johnson. I switched to fashion on the agency side. Then I also had my own agency, and my customers were, amongst others, a French bridal company, Pronuptia. And then I also worked in home appliances for a family-owned company, the German brand, you maybe know it, Miele. And I also then again worked on my own account and worked in the diamond industry. Today I work as a guest presenter on QVC Germany, and there I'm presenting fine food, anything that has to do with indulgence, with chocolate, etc. But because I know that I have so much knowledge of so many other products and industries, I thought I would share my knowledge here with you, because during the pandemic I realized that many YouTube channels cover always the same brands, the same products, and not very many dwell on the artisans, the small suppliers, the small businesses. And I honestly believe that if you know how to look for the really exquisite and very individualistic products, if you want to hone your personal style and you know how to go about it, then you can find really beautiful, luxurious products, real luxury, where you really pay for the substantial value of the very product you're buying and not for the intangible attributes of the brand that, you know, luxury brands that we all know. And I think we owe it to those artisans and to those small businesses that we support them. I think it's good for us financially speaking, and if we want to be a bit more individualistic and not follow the mainstream. I'm not saying that luxury brands are mainstream, but still, you know, many go buy those brands and they maybe, you know, save some money to afford this or that brand, but still it's something that very many know. And I have experienced, especially when preparing my wedding in 2019, I looked for jewelry, you know, for this one occasion and for accessories, and I realized what knowledge I have, and that you can find so many beautiful things without paying a fortune, and that this is what many of us want. You know, we want these special things and we want to cherish them and we appreciate them. It's not about this materialism to show off a brand. It's more about knowing that you own a treasure without the stamp of a brand on it. And this is what I'm about. And if this is interesting you, if this interests you, then stick with me, because in the first videos I will be covering some ground on weddings, wedding accessories, wedding dresses. But if you're saying, okay, you're not getting married, don't worry, there will be tips and tricks and hacks that would be interesting for you if you just want to go out and party and look for, you know, elegant evening dresses. And I hope that hopefully soon, even here on the continent, we will have reason to party. We are not as far as you in the UK over there, but someday, you know, someday we will hopefully be able to party, and then we will need to glam us up. So this is what I will be starting with, but you can always tell me what other products you would like me to cover. Yeah, I want you to tell you also a bit about me as a person. You might have heard somebody here. This is my dog, Gandhi. I will be getting him, but he's sitting there looking outside. He loves this place there. Yeah, I'm Joanna. I'm 52 years old. I will be turning 52 in June. And yeah, I'm married. Unfortunately, I don't have children because my husband and I met really late. As I told you, we got married in 2019. This was for both of us our first marriage and the first wedding. And yeah, now we're happy with our little boy, which I'm gonna grab for you because he's gonna make appearances and he's gonna be part of this year. Just wait. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? Yeah, you're my baby, right? Say hello to everybody. Well, looking forward to seeing you here around. And if you are interested in in subjects I'll be covering, and if you want to join me, and if you like what I'm announcing, then please make sure to subscribe, hit the bell button. Yes, and a thumbs up would make me very happy. See you soon. Bye bye.